right, so our water is completely dry. So we're ready to stencil on our deer. Now I happen to have found a stencil that's the perfect scale for my project. So I'm going to use this. We're gonna add a heron and an eagle, or that's what I've chosen to add to mine, in a future video or in one of the other videos. So for those particular ones, I don't have a stencil for them. So I'll show you how to transfer an image so that you can paint it. And the reason I'm saying that right now is if by chance you don't have this stencil or get the stencil, it'll be on the supply list, but if you choose not to get it, you can transfer your own stag image, or if you wanted to do a bear or some other wildlife. I chose a deer for mine, and I also chose my heron and my eagle simply because we have deer coming through our yard every single day, pretty much every day. And we have eagles constantly flying over, and we have a little heron that comes and visits us every spring and gets its meals out of the creek that we live right alongside. So those are significant to me. So you can add whatever you want to your project. It doesn't have to be these same animals. And I'll have a website that you can look for images to personalize your project. So while I was talking there, I was stenciling. I've got a small brush. I don't want to get a big brush because a big brush, it's going to be harder to get into the areas here. And I also made sure that I didn't have huge amounts of paint on here, because if you have too much paint on your brush, you're going to end up pushing it too much underneath your stencil. So if you're new to stenciling, less is more. Start with a lighter touch and less paint. You can always add extra layers if you need to. And then once you've lifted it off, if you see any of the blue from the water showing through, you can just take a paintbrush and you can go in and you can paint that. And this particular stencil, it came in a set that had like 30 different stencils, a bunch of different wildlife, a bunch of different African animals and stuff like that. So there's a lot of selection in that set. But once again, there'll be a website on the supply list that will have images on it that have a Creative Commons license to them, so you can use them for your projects. You just need to scale them for whatever it is that you are using. So I am going to let this completely dry, and I'll see you in the next video.